now. I'm gonna try to start doing lives again, getting things going this way because it's fun to interact with everybody and kind of give a behind the scenes sneak peeks of what is going on in the shop. So let's start with a quick garage tour, then we're gonna jump into something I was thinking about in the gym today. We're gonna talk about how I would mod a sled. And you can send me in sleds you want to do that with, like you want to see what I would do with. I'll keep coming up with some until guys send me in what they want. But let's do a little shop tour, see what we got going on. Okay, we've got the 23 for sale right now. Buy it. We got the Razor, the 22. It's for sale right now. Buy it. We got the King. King needs a little bit of work, but not much. And then mods after that. Watercross sled. Literally nothing's happened with it. It's a bummer. Max is to where it's going to be until we do some testing. 600, nothing's happened. Sneak peek, new sled. 440 is, I've got some parts we need to go through. Maybe in the next couple days, if I have time, we'll work on this guy. But the 440 is getting closer. I've got some good parts. We're going to work on that. ZX build. Haven't posted any videos on this yet so far. But look how shiny it is. It's nice, huh? The ZX build is coming along really good. TR Machines has some parts for us that are incredible. So hopefully you guys are stoked to see those because I have just seen pictures of them and I'm freaking in love. Everything back here, nothing has happened on any of those sleds. Racing mower, obviously nothing's happened. Mostly I've been working on this thing because I'm going to drop all the videos at once for that. Because I think that'd be kind of a fun way. I don't know, not fun, but like, I mean, I have them all scheduled out and just like, every week you'll get one for, I don't know, a couple months. Because I thought, instead of having to wait for stuff, which has made it kind of hard coming out with videos right now. We have been out riding. I've gone out twice, and it was incredible. We got some people jumping on. Hello. Man, I'm so bad at hamburgers. Hello. Let's see. Got, a bunch of people saying hi. How's it going? Hopefully you guys are into sleds. So we got sleds, and we're going to talk about them today. On my sled, on my 23, Jans, hopefully I said that right. Gunderson, how's it going? Got some people texting in different languages. I don't know. I'm sorry. So I did pull out the suspension out of the 23. So we've got that out. I need to find somewhere nice to put it. Got the suspension. I pulled out almost all the mods out of there. Good. Is it Jens? Jens, right? Jens. All right, yeah. So we got the parts out of there. What else we got? The KTM, it's up here. Just super dirty. Super dirty. Okay, cool. Thanks for being on here. We've got my 37 slant back that is super dusty and dirty. I need to clean it. But I need to just take it over to the DMV, or the paperwork over to the DMV. So my dad gave me that car. It was a car we used to ride or drive around when I was a kid. And he can't really drive it anymore. So he gave it to me, which is cool. So I want to get out driving it. Anyways, that's kind of the shop. We can go over it again here in a little bit. But let's get over. Hopefully you guys like snowmobiles because that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. I have had this idea. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit weird here for a second while I get my phone situated. Whoops. Okay, yeah, while I get my phone situated here. So I had this idea, sorry, it's odd, about a segment I would like to do. And I thought, what's the best way to do it? So I think lives, and then I'm maybe gonna put it on podcast, because I was at the gym and I thought, man, there's nothing I want to, like, I didn't want to get into a book quite yet, and I didn't want to, well, what did I just do? Okay, we're gonna screen record this. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't want to like start my book because I had to think too much, and there's nothing I wanted to watch. And I was like, man, I wish that there was a podcast about modding sleds. So that's what we're going to do here. That's kind of what this segment's all about, is how would I mod any sled. So the one we're picking today is the Phaser. Why? Because I've been thinking about this sled a ton lately. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys, let me know in the comments here if you have ridden a Phaser, if you've seen a Phaser, if you've owned a Phaser, you know, whatever. I guess if you've ridden a Phaser, I mean, may not have owned one, just ridden it. I have built one Phaser in the past, and it was, oh man, it was a fun build. We built it and then we gave it away. So it was for a good cause. We were the Snowmobile Association here. We had a kids' day, and sorry, I'm gonna move the camera just a little bit so I can get my arm in a better spot. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so we built it and gave it away, but lately I've just been thinking about it a ton. So yeah, I'm gonna go through what I would mod on it and why I would mod it, okay? If you join in, let me know what you would do. So first thing I would do on this one's gonna be a mountain build because it's the one I've been thinking of. We may cover Phasers again, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit too here, but the first one we're gonna do for this is a mountain build, okay? First thing I would do is I would add a bigger track. For the build that we would do, I would probably do, and well, obviously skid too, right? Track and skid, I think I would probably go, probably 165, maybe 175. Somewhere in there. Probably do a Polaris skid and track just because the width of it. Maybe a Skidoo. Put a 3-inch. I don't know. Okay. So the reason I would do that, sorry, I should say this is gonna be like a hill climb. Hill climb sled. Okay, so I'd want something with a lot of traction. Oops, moved my thing here, sorry. I should have tested this a little bit better before I sat down. So I'd want more traction. Just so that you could do some steeper hill climbs. So that's where I'd go the longer. Probably just depending on what I could find. I guess I would also consider 163, but that's probably the options I would pick for that. But it'd probably be the 65 or the 75. Maybe 75 would be cool. I think we go 75. Yeah, for this, because it's like, what do we want, right? We're using our imaginations. Just so we have as much traction on the ground as we can. Along with that, because this is like a teeny track, we would probably want to add some kind of tunnel extension. Because we would probably, the mounting points on this would probably actually end up being back here on the extension part. Because like, if you had a 175 track, this is probably a 123 or 122 or something. I don't know what the numbers are for the trail sleds. But I think it would stick out so far. I feel like you'd get so much stuff on you. And then along with that, probably do like a bumper. Probably have to do like a custom job, but yeah, a new bumper, rear bumper. That would also help to reinforce everything down into here, strengthen that up. So like, kind of like the backwoods bumpers that come down into the sled here. Okay, so I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of working the way front to back. No snow flap. We wouldn't put a snow flap, but I'm going to delete that so we don't see next and wonder what it is. Okay. Next, we're going to cut the seat. This seat is going to go down. I don't know. I think I would just trim it off rather than making it like the old Polaris seats or like where they had it was kind of like the gap underneath, you know? That's the gas tank, and then the seats here. And there's like, this is just a void. I probably wouldn't do that. Although I think it's cool, I don't think I would. This is what I would do. I would cut the seat like this. Something similar to that. I mean, it wouldn't have a wavy line right there, but... sorry. Yeah. So it would just be like a seat cut down to get rid of that extra space. Also, that would make it look like a bus, which would be super cool. Which maybe I picked this one because I liked... There's one that's like maybe a different year, but the graphics are like red and black, and I just think it looks cool. But maybe doing one yellow like a school bus if it was going to be super long would be cool. I think it'd be cool. Let me know what you think, if it would be cool or not. Next thing that we would do is... right here, it would have to get new boards. New running boards. These, the one I built, I bought some aftermarket running boards. And they were awesome. They fit on real great, real good. For this build, I may just get some Polaris running boards and make those work. Just because it's a little easier. You can find them easy. Either that or I would make my own, try to make my own. So the running boards though, just because these running boards are going to hold all the snow in the world, right? It's going to be horrible for riding on. So we're going to want to clear out the snow. So having these open running boards is going to help do that. It probably would add weight instead of taking it away, but this sled weighs almost nothing. So, or does it? I can't remember. Anyways, getting that skid out and putting something smaller or more modern in is going to that's probably where most of your weight on this, and then in the chassis, the bulkhead, is going to be the most of our weight. So yeah. That's going to be kind of where we go there. So the next part forward, I love the fairing, I guess you'd call it, or the windshield part. I think that it's kind of iconic to the Phaser. I have seen a lot of them without the fairing, and they look I like the look of them, but I think I would want the fairing on there. I guess I'm going to call it a fairing. I don't know if that's what it's really called. But we're going to go up with everything. So handlebars are going up. I didn't do a very great job of drawing the fairing. But we're going to have the fairing go up. So that fairing has the headlight in it. It has the windshield on it. It has your gauges in it. Taking all that and just raising it up. And then putting more modern bars on. I think the one I built, I did that. I raised the bars up. I put different handlebars on, and it made a huge difference in the look and the feel of the sled. And I thought it turned out really cool. So yeah, we'd get those up to a comfortable height. I don't know. I'd have to test it and see what that height would be. So yeah, that's what I would do there. Okay, next. Now this is where this build maybe gets a little bit crazy, okay? The power plant for this sled. I would want to do an RX-1 motor. And now that's a snowmobile if you're not familiar with the RX-1. I think they came out in like 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. And it's the Yamaha 4-stroke. And I would want to turbo it. And that's where the hill climb part comes in, right? We're going to turbo this. And then the exhaust, I was thinking today, because the RX-1, if you don't know about the RX-1, the exhaust ran out the back of the sled. And it came out back here. And I've always thought that was cool. So I think it would be really neat to try to reproduce that, duplicate that. I don't know. We'd have to look and see how it went under the gas tank and how that all works out. But I think it would be incredible to have it come out the back. If not, probably on the other side because your clutches are here, but just have like a nice side dump. It would be incredibly loud. Incredibly. Anyways, so RX-1 tuned with the turbo. Pushing a lot of horsepower. But that's where the 175, because you could push a ton of horsepower with it. But that 175, it would be able to, the power from that RX-1 would turn a 175, no problem, right? So here's the other, so in my thinking, and maybe if you guys have more experience with this, let me know. But in my thinking, I'm like, okay, there's two problems there's a lot of problems, but the two problems that I see most is the space in the engine compartment is not going to be enough. So what we would do is probably make our own custom hood that came up high and still mimic the look of the phaser, but make our own hood that came up and could house the RX-1 engine. So it would basically just be this piece right here that we would either just make our own or would make our own whole new hood, make our own new hood. Oops, why did I delete that? Whoa. So yeah, we'd come up, over, down, however big we needed to fit that engine in, I think would be so cool to keep that same look, right? The next problem I see is our suspension, because this suspension is made for this little fan-cooled, what are they, 480s or 420 somethings. So these pogos probably wouldn't have enough strength. So what I would do is I would get the pogos off of, like, I think the Expedition Skidoo still makes a sled with this pogo suspension. So I would get that and I would mount the pogos, the beefed up pogos on so that it could hold the weight of the RX-1 engine. Giving us so that, like, when you put the engine in, it doesn't just slam this to the ground. So that's how I would compensate for that there. The other thing that would do is I could move the mounting point of the suspension down so that we could have the track down further, get us higher up out of the snow a little bit. Yeah. And then the other thing that we would do would be skis, just something more modern, plastic, to give us just a better, I think, better control, better sliding over the snow, just better all around for pretty much everything. And then I would probably take this sled and find some chutes and climb it. The other thing I would do, I think, is make the hood so it would come off, because I think that would be the biggest thing for me with this sled. All these other parts, I feel like you can find them wherever, whenever, right? But that hood, that custom hood, would be hard to replace. So replacing that with having it so that could come off when you're going to go climb a chute. That way, if you roll the sled all the way down the hill, you still have, like, you don't have to rebuild that custom hood again. So that's kind of where what I've thought about for this, for a phaser. But then the thing I hadn't thought about was the wrap. If you did like a yellow, because it would be super long, like a school bus, or if you just kind of keep with the retro theme, the phaser theme, that might be cooler. I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts for as far as the hill climb part. Now, I don't know how to start over, so we're just going to delete. But I do have another thought for this sled. Sorry, we're just going to, I don't know how to start over, so we're just deleting everything on here. Oh, wow. I didn't realize how many little lines I made. The other part of snowmobiling that I find very interesting is like the guys in the Midwest that they call it ditch banging. And I know very little about ditch banging. Here's what I do know. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, because I would love to know more about it. And I've been trying to figure out, like, how do they build ditch banging sleds? How do they do these things? But I think making a phaser into one could be a really interesting build. So what I think they're doing is they're going and they're jumping like driveways. They're finding places to kind of just rip down the trail fast. So we don't need the super long track. This skid, though, is so outdated and heavy. Like, if you look, I'm counting bogey wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm guessing there's one on the other side. 10 bogey wheels. Okay? My sled has 3. Or 4. It's got 2 in the back. And then it's got 2 little ones up front. Okay, and then some guys will add 2 there, just to help the high facts. I don't know, and I guess I shouldn't say that that's what we'd want to do, because I've seen a lot of the trail sleds will have more. I wonder if they'll have more bogeys in there. I can definitely see you would want the 2 in the back, 2 in the middle, and 2 up front. So, I mean, I guess that's only taking away, 2 bogeys. Oh, and then I guess everybody's probably like, oh, there's one on top, Yeah, we got that too. So I guess there's 12 bogeys in here. Or no, 13. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 11. Sorry. So, but I feel like with the sled this old, if you want to make a really killer, cool build, we would want to put a new skid and track in it. I don't know, and this is where I would have to do more research, but I think they make 137. I think that's probably what you'd want to put in, which would probably stick out a little bit. What I would get that off of, though, I'm not sure. If I would probably just find what's out there, I guess, and just put whatever you could find, whether that's a Skidoo, ArcticFX, Polaris, whatever, or Yamaha even. If there was a Yamaha that was like, hey, this is a good ditch banging sled, this skid works well, let's throw that in here, okay? And I mean, you'd have to do, and I guess I should have said this with the hill climb, we'd have to put avid drivers in it, or different drivers to be able to turn that track. Okay, so we start with the track and skid, kind of like we did last with our hill climb. Seat, though, for this, I don't know if I would change the seat. Maybe not as huge of a cut. Just do like a little cut, like right there. Cut just the back hump off to make it look more sleek. But I do love the lines on this sled where it comes, where it connects from the tank onto the seat. I mean, yeah, we'd have to do a bumper. So we'd probably just tie it in down here, come here, and tie that tie that in into the sled. I don't know if we'd have to do much of an extension or any if we did. But, you know, if we need to do an extension, then I think you'd want the track on this covered up. I haven't seen trail sleds with the tracks hanging out the back like they are on the mountain sleds. That brings up another point. With the mountain sled that would be different is the running boards. I probably wouldn't do tubes, but I would just do the cutouts because I don't think you're going to have as much snow in the running boards. I could be super wrong, but they make cutouts that just have like openings in them with cleats, something that you just kind of lock your feet in and go, and then there'd be holes through that. But just guessing from what I've done, just trail riding and not a big trail rider, but like just from my like light experience, I think that would be fine for this build, because I don't want to do the same thing. Like I don't want to be the same mountain sled I built, but just with a shorter track, right? The lug height would be different, I think, with this as well. Okay, we'd have to do something with the handlebars, probably raise them up a bit again. And like I said before, I want that fairing to come with us because I want to have that light and that look. I want that look. That's probably the thing I want the most on that. Power, the engine. This would be interesting. I think I would just want to try to find either a 600 or an 800 to put in there. I think I would go twin cylinder because it would just make fitment better. And you can get, like the triples are cool. It'd be like putting a Mountain Max in their engine would be insanely cool. But with that, then you'd want to run triple pipes, so you'd run into a bunch of problems with fitment there. So I think just a 6 or an 800, what would I get it out of? I think either a Skidoo, Cat, or Polaris, and then we would just dump it out the other side, just out the bottom. Excuse me, sorry. I'd probably go with the 800 just because I love 800. I would want more power. So maybe even 850, but I feel like an 800 would be easier to find. Again, we would have the problem with the shocks, these Pogos. I don't know if these would be strong enough to hold up an 800cc engine. That would be something interesting to find out, probably something we would experiment with. But I wonder, we could either do like we would do on the other one and put the Pogos off of the Skidoo on there, or we could do something totally different and maybe make like a trailing arm system, the spindle and radius rods. I think that would be taking away from the phaser look because the Pogos are such a part of a phaser that I think I would just want to have the Pogos. Yeah. And then obviously next I would definitely want to do new skis, just so we can glide over the snow easier and better. That's kind of where I think I would land with this sled. Doing the ditch banger, having the better suspension and skid in the rear. It would be neat to do different suspension up front so you could have a little better. Excuse me. A little better for when you rip it down the ditches. Could be really interesting. I have never built one, so I don't know 100% what people are looking for, but I feel like I'm going to find out. I'm going to talk to guys. If you know about ditch bangers, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Sorry. Let's talk about trail riding. Now, I don't know much about trail riding, but I feel like this would be set up okay for it. So maybe I'm wrong, but the trail riding, maybe we leave the skid. And maybe all we do, man, maybe we just change the skis and I don't know. Do you want, maybe, I don't know much about trail riding, so please help me out here. I'm going to do some research. I don't know if you'd want better running boards or if those running boards would be fine. But hey, this is a mod sled. So yeah, we do it. So put a bigger engine in. Put that 6 or 800 in. You know what we didn't think about in either of those last two, putting those bigger engines, we'd have to cool it. So we'd have to add the tunnel coolers on all of them. Tunnel cooler, which I feel like is fine. Like you could add that on any of them because we're going to be dropping that skid down. So yeah, we had the tunnel coolers, obviously. I think for a trail sled, I'd leave this seat because it has great lines, and that way you could get up against this backrest piece, and, you know, really find comfort there. I think I would probably change out the handlebars because I feel like the handlebars on here are just not super great. Yeah, I think as far as like trail sled, that's, I don't know. It looks like a K, but it's supposed to be an L. G-R-A-I-L. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all you would do for that. And, you know, I actually really like the look of the phaser, like the graphics kit and everything that's on here. So I don't know if I would actually wrap it. Let's see, we'll take all this off. This one isn't the best looking one that I've seen, but there are some that have better graphics kits. And I just couldn't find the orientation that I wanted for that one. So yeah, let me know what you would do on a modded phaser. I can't really think of anything else that I would really do to it. If I was going to build one out of the three of them, I would do the mountain one because that's where I live, right? And that's the riding that I do here is all mountain riding. Let's flip this around. Yeah. So that's where I would land with that, you know, and if, like I said, please, why did you do that? Please let me know, you know, if you have any other thoughts or ideas on that. But I think that's how I would mod a Yamaha phaser. I really like the 80s ones. So, let's walk through the shop again just one more time. If you guys are still here, I'll try to think if I missed anything. Like I said, in the shop, kind of the biggest thing we've got going on here is we got the ZX build. And that's really been fun and exciting for me to do that. TR Machines is Tony's machine, and he is building all kinds of parts. So if you're needing a custom part made, and you're like, man, I don't know where to find this, where to get this, let us know. We'd love to talk with you and see if it's something we could do. But yeah, that's all going to come out here soon. Hopefully soon. I think we're getting close to starting to really put things back together. We've got the King. We took it out